Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Roaming Prepper, and today's SITREP. I figured I was going to do a surprise live stream. So we're going to cover a few topics today. I only have a handful. I've been on the road, as some of you may have noticed on my Instagram posts. So, in any case, today we've got a couple of interesting topics to talk about. I will start with a shout out to the members of Texas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma National Guard who are right now, depending on what unit, either in Southeast Asia or in the Middle East. I won't say any more than that. Godspeed to all of you. And, for those of you who are back home, we are thinking of you. If you know someone whose family member is deployed, please be supportive of our troops. And that should go without saying. In any case, so let's go back to something I talked about earlier, which was the Chinese rocket, which all of us are talking about. Excuse me just a second here. I think this is it. So this would be, it's an old book I had in college, Intro to Flight. We were talking about orbital issues. So, and let me see if I can find it. So, long story short, what I'm reading and understanding is, if you guys look at the Apollo videos, the old Apollo videos, you'll notice that they have images of the rocket being ejected in pieces as the fuel burns up. Apparently, the Chinese were trying to do that, and this is the second time they've screwed this up. So the rocket goes into space, it reaches a certain velocity, whereby the upper section will jettison the lower section. That rocket section is supposed to come back to Earth. And typically, the way the Apollo and the Russian rockets back in the Sputnik days it would come off in sections. Well, the Chinese just made one big ass section. And then the section did not eject the way they expected it to, nor were the thrusters working. Apparently, they had some kind of failsafe, which failed, and there was no failsafe for the failsafe. So, long story short, the damn thing is now in orbit, but it's low orbit. So what you have happen there is, and you can look at the old drag calculations, which is what I was kind of looking at. But long story short, this rocket, instead of being in a higher orbit, which would be, a satellite will be up there 20, 30 years, between gravity pulling it in, but also it's close enough to where the atmosphere is affecting it. So it's actually got atmospheric friction on the rocket as it's going around the curve of the Earth. And then, of course, gravity pulling it toward the center of the Earth. There's really nothing pulling it away. Your tangential velocity, which I won't go into right now, which would normally, you spin something and let it go and it launches, it doesn't have enough. So it won't launch into space. So it's kind of stuck in this weird limbo. And as the friction of the atmosphere and the Earth start catching it, it's going to start doing this very slow tumble. It's going to lose control. It's basically in a very stupid flat spin right now. Eventually it's going to come to the ground. Now, in 1908, the Tunguska meteorite that hit Siberia flattened 800 square miles of forest out there. It was half the weight of this rocket and about half the size, but it was moving at an extremely high velocities. Whereas this thing is going to be falling at gravity velocity, so it will be fast, but it will not be that fast. We're talking that meteorite was probably moving, or that asteroid was a small one, probably moving, 30,000 miles an hour. This thing is not going to be anywhere near that fast. Also, for the most part, meteors and asteroids, if they don't burn up in the atmosphere, fall as a chunk. This rocket will probably break up. The problem is now you have a bunch of metal pieces going everywhere. And they don't quite know how to predict it coming down. So now everyone's kind of looking at it, trying to figure out where the hell it's going to fall. So this is kind of a simplistic picture, but any body moving in space, you're going to have drag forcing it that way. Normally in the air, you'll have lift picking it up, the curvature of the wing would lift it, and then of course gravity pulling it down. But here it has no thrust, so it's just kind of in a dead spin, going in stupid circles. So it should come down. Let's see. Oh, the Washington Post just posted something new about this foolishness. Let's see. Somebody's texting me, and they have all sorts of things to say. I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't even know this person. I love when I get a message from someone and it makes no sense. Okay, world awaits Chinese rocket to enter the atmosphere, and I'll throw that in my links. Oh, but not like that. And prompting international concern over where it may land. The Long March 5B rocket is projected to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. Ooh, at 18,000 miles an hour between Saturday 11 p.m. and 5:30 Sunday Eastern. It's going to be one of the largest objects to ever re-enter the Earth's atmosphere on an uncontrolled trajectory. Aerospace Corporation, a large funded project, says Saturday would splash down in the Atlantic Ocean, with the closest countries being Portugal and Spain. But it could enter anywhere between 41.5 degrees north latitude and 41.5 degrees south latitude, meaning major cities like New York could be hit with debris. Well, shit. Well, somebody screwed up. That's moving faster than I was expecting. I guess it will be coming in pretty hot. So in any case, guys, pay attention to it. The chances of you getting hit by an asteroid or a falling rocket are pretty small, but kind of embarrassing. You'd think China would have fixed it last time. In the meantime, Tesla sends the whole rocket to space, and then it lands like a damn Buck Rogers spaceship, and they do just fine. So, this is just kind of embarrassing. All right, so next one was the cyber attack on the U.S. pipeline, and this one's new. I didn't see this one last night. So let's see what they say. We'll go into MSN. I'm going to throw that up there. And guys, again, this is just kind of 4 topics I had in mind. One of the nation's largest pipelines, which carries refined gasoline and jet fuel from Texas to the East Coast up to New York, was forced to shut down after being hit by ransomware. Okay, we really need to do something about our infrastructure in this country. If Mr. Biden, and I didn't vote for him, but if Mr. Biden does propose something like that, that's substantial, and I believe he is, we may all need to listen. I know Texas, after that freeze blackout, definitely was not very impressed with their own performance. But the fact that we had one of the largest states get blacked out because of a storm, the East Coast about 10 years ago went down from like Ohio to New York because of a equipment error. And now people are ransomwaring major pipelines. That's a problem, y'all. Because this is a guy looking for money. Imagine if somebody just wanted to screw with us and shut us down. If they could shut down the pipeline, that implies, so pipeline, as it travels, you'll have your main station, your refinery, it'll pump into the pipeline. The pipelines are much like a train. They have pump stations along the way, and they'll divert certain products to certain directions. The fact that whoever it was shut it down, either one, we had no control over it. They basically killed the computers, or 2, they were controlling it. It's one of those 2 things. Either everyone was blind or they had control. And if that was the case, that's frightening, because it's very easy to turn on this pump station, shut off this one, and build up a bunch of pressure here and cause a fire, an explosion, or a massive leak. That's freaking disturbing. When the hell did this happen? Late Friday, shut down 5,500 miles of pipeline, which carries 45% of the East Coast fuel. That would include all our strategic bases on the East Coast. That's concerning as well. It was a Colonial Pipeline, so You may want to buy their stock on Monday because it's going to be down. I'm pretty sure of that. Let's see what else they say in the coming weeks. Okay, the administration is expected to issue a broad-ranging executive order to bolster security of federal and private systems. Okay, so they're paying attention. That's a good thing. After two major attacks from Russia and China in recent months caught American intelligence agencies by surprise. Keep in mind, you don't need to do this from your own country. Russia or China could use a proxy. They could hire a hacker from freaking, Malaysia to go and do this shit, and good luck tracking it back to the Russians. They confirmed this was a ransomware situation. That's pretty sad. That's embarrassing and it's dangerous. So for those of you who were not affected by the freeze, it seems like Texas took the big hit on that one because we never get freezes like that. Make sure your tanks are full. That's standard prepping thing. Plus, we're getting into hurricane season, so you should be doing that anyway. Those of you on the coast. But also make sure you got propane, butane. My friends in the fuel industry here in Texas, and I'm talking about gas and other trucked petroleum products in the middle continent, the mid-con, they're saying the refineries are still getting caught up. You can't find 91 octane anywhere in certain parts of the middle US, and even on the coasts it's getting difficult. So we need to pay attention to that kind of stuff because that can affect your prepping. If you got a generator that runs on fuel, you may want to consider having extra supply on hand. If you have a big enough homestead, you could have a tank installed either above or below ground and have a trucking company come in, once a quarter and top it off. But pay attention to this stuff because this kind of stuff would precede an attack. If I recall correctly, Russia was screwing with Ukraine's internet and comms just before they kind of just marched into Crimea. Any kind of situation will likely be precipitated by or preceded by something like this. Pay attention to these hacks. That's concerning. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. That's kind of so far the effect on fuel has been small. New York State rose from $2.99 to $3, but that is a major issue. So we'll move on from that topic, but that's kind of concerning. Okay, gun news. So, U.S. gun sale. This state bought more than 4 million guns. Let's see which one it is, because I haven't had this one yet. The FBI criminal background check has recorded of the 310 million checks done. Let's see. In April and the first 4 months should not be taken as unusual. It's 40% increase. Sales to women are up 50%. Sales to minorities also up 40%, which is good. I mean, it's the Second Amendment applies to guys like me, after all. And 4% of the population. The state with the most gun sales through the first 4 months was Illinois, at 4,287,000. The state has only 4% of the population of the U.S., but accounted for 27% of gun sales during that period. I wonder if the riots had anything to do with that. They were seeing all the cities burn down, especially like Chicago, Illinois, and it freaked people out. That's interesting. That's yeah, I would have thought it would be like Texas, Oklahoma, but I guess we already have our guns. So, but anyway, I'll throw that one in the links as well, and you guys can take a look at that. And last topic, guys, and this will have to be a quick one. Like I said, I had some stuff going on today, so this was kind of an ad hoc live stream. Last one is, no, I can't find it. Okay, so the return of the Biden laptop. Okay, let's see what this nonsense is. And it says nothing. Okay, it does not download. Well, that sucks. Okay, so apparently they found more emails that was involved with some national in China. Um, I think the guy has issues, and to be fair, people with issues and addictions can be a security threat. So folks need to be mindful of that. Um, Honestly, having dealt with friends and family who suffered addiction, I kind of feel bad for the guy. I don't think he's the devil. I think he's got a demon, is what he's got. So um, he's yeah, it doesn't give any more information. So I'm gonna write that article off to just puffery. Uh, he is publishing a book about how he learned about addiction and how he's cleaned up. So maybe that's a good thing. We'll give the guy credit. His brother Beau Biden was a decorated soldier. So uh, again, I got decent respect for these guys. I don't like their policies per se, but Hunter's struggling with addiction, so we got to give him a little bit of a pass. But we do have to be careful. Again, folks with addictions, folks with this kind of situation, or that can be blackmailed, can be compromised. So that's something important. I hope is being taken into account by the Secret Service. Well, shoot, guys, that's all I had today. This was going to be a short one, but I do appreciate you all coming to check out the video. If you can, like and subscribe. If you're traveling, Godspeed, whoever and wherever you're going. Again, don't forget the people deployed, because they're the best of us. I don't care what color they are or who they voted for. They're 90% of them are the best of us. Period. And until next time, you all be safe and God bless.